Hi guys, so in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to create a detailed responsive table. I'll be using this detailed invoice table to show you how to create a responsive table. So the first thing I'm going to do is that I'm going to select a frame size for our table, the invoice table. You could set this frame to any size you want because it will be responsive. So I'm going to set this to 1180 and then I'm going to set the height to 700. So as this frame is highlighted, I'm going to add an auto layout to it by pressing Shift A on my keyboard. While it's highlighted, I'm going to set the width to fixed width and then I'll set the height to fixed height. So I'm going to bring in our text property for our table titles. I'm going to write invoice. Then I'm going to change the color to a neutral color. I'm going to add an auto layout to this text by pressing Shift A on my keyboard. Then I'm going to select this text and make sure it's set to fill container. Then I'm going to highlight the auto layout frame and then set the horizontal padding to 24 and set the vertical padding to 12. While this frame is selected, I'm going to come to the height and make sure it's set to fixed height. So I'm going to set it to 44. I'm just going to rename this header. I'm going to bring in our header frame into this table and it automatically positions itself here. I'm also going to align this frame to the left. I'm also going to give this invoice frame a background color. And then I will highlight our invoice table and make sure to close all gaps and paddings. You set it to 0. So I'm going to select this header auto layout frame and then add another auto layout to it using Shift A on my keyboard. Then I'm going to come here and expand this frame. Then I will select this header frame again and duplicate it by pressing Command D on my keyboard. I'm going to select this second frame we have. I'll set the height to 56. I will also change the text color since this is going to be part of the items and the details and not the header. I'll change this to 2F2F2F. We also need to rename this so that we don't get confused. So this is going to be items. I'm going to select the second frame and I'll duplicate it more. I'm going to select this particular column and then I'm going to make 5 more duplicates of it by pressing Command D on my keyboard. So we have 5 columns here and then I'm going to select all of them and then I will set them to fill container. So automatically they just fit the size of our table. I'm going to select this table and then change the spacing to 0 just to close all gaps. Then I'm going to select it again and set the height to hug content. So automatically it shrinks to fit its content. I'm also going to select our 6 columns and then set the spacing to 8. I'm going to select just our title headers. I'm going to remove their fill color. We'll be left with just our items having fill colors. Then I'll just have to rename our titles. So we have client here, we have amount, we have status, we have due date, and we have created. I'm quickly going to rename these items. So I've been able to rename the details of the table except for this one, which is our status, which has pending, overdue, and paid. So I'm going to bring in an already designed status, which is paid. So I'm going to make it fit into this particular cell. Then I'll select this one and delete it. Then I'm going to copy this and select the rest of the cells. Then I'm going to paste to replace. I can now switch this from paid to overdue. I'll select this and set it to hug content. So you can see that our table is responsive already. We're going to set this particular one to fixed width, and then we can easily adjust it. These are the details that will be above this table, and we're going to merge them together using auto layout. So it's very important that people should be able to easily see all their invoices when they click on this tab. They should also be able to see invoices that are pending. They should also be able to see overdue, and they should also be able to see paid. I'm going to just create an auto layout between these four. I'm going to set the spacing to 40. Then I'm going to put these two frames in an auto layout using Shift A. Then I'm going to set the spacing to 28. So this frame is going to be on the left side of our table, and this is going to be on the right side. So I'm just going to highlight everything, and then I'll press Shift A just to add auto layout. But we're going to set our spacing to auto. I'm also going to bring in our line and set it to the same width as this frame, which is 798. Then I'm going to create an auto layout between the two. Then I'll set their spacing to 12. I'll come back to our table, select it, and then remove the background color, which is white. I'm going to highlight both this table and our table header. Then I'm going to add auto layout. Then I'll set this spacing to 16. I'm also going to select this frame, and then I'm going to set the width to fill container, so automatically it stretches to fit the size of this table. Now I can add a new background. So I'm going to add a background color of white. Then I'm going to set our horizontal padding to 16. Then I will open up this vertical padding and set the top to 16, set the bottom to 16 as well. I can just select all these columns and then give only the left side a corner radius of 4, and also the bottom left. Then I'm also going to select all the columns here and set the top right and bottom right to 4. I'm also going to bring in our pagination. I'm going to create another auto layout between our frame and the bottom element. So I'm going to press Shift A on my keyboard. Then I'll set the spacing to 20. I'm going to select our table and set it to fill container. I'm also going to add another fill color of white. Then I'll select this particular frame and open up the padding. So the bottom padding, I'll just set it to 0. Then I'm also going to select this element and give it a horizontal padding of 16. Then I'll select the overall table. Then I'll come here, open this up and set the bottom padding to, let's say, 24. Now that we have this, I can now add a corner radius of 4. Then I'm also going to give it a stroke color of F1. I'm also going to select this. Then I'll set the stroke to custom. This will have a stroke. This will have a stroke. the bottom won't have a stroke. Then I'll still change the stroke to F1, F1, F1. So this is what our table looks like. Then I'm going to bring this table in. So we've come to the end of this video, and if you have questions or any concerns at all, please do let me know in the comment section.